Hey everybody, welcome to another lesson of learning Japanese. Today we're going to go over another video lesson, of course. Today's topic is going to be how to turn nouns into adjectives and also adverbs in a sense. So in the English language, probably like a lot of languages, words are relentlessly interchanging between different word types. For example, if we take the noun word force, we can turn that into an adjective just by adding the suffix full and it becomes forceful, or we can turn it into a verb just by adding basically to in front of it to be to force. When we zone on that kind of criteria of turning nouns into adjectives in the English language, things can get pretty darn messy in terms of how do we know what suffix we're supposed to add to the end of it to turn into an adjective? With force, we use the suffix full. Other words will take that same suffix, such as beauty turns into beautiful, wonder turns into wonderful, but then you also have other words that take other suffixes. For example, the ol suffix, music turns into musical, logic turns into logical, and then we have the us suffix. Danger turns into dangerous, and courage turns into courageous. And the list goes on and on. There's so many other suffixes that we didn't even mention. And additionally, this isn't even mentioning that kind of letter change that you have to do at the end of the word before you even add on the suffix, like that example of beauty that we had. You have to change the Y in beauty into an I before you even attach the suffix full. So yeah, needless to say, in English, it's a decent amount of work and experience that you have to kind of commit all the different words to memory to know which suffix goes onto them when you're turning them into adjectives. Luckily, in Japanese, things are far simpler because we only have one suffix, and that suffix is going to be represented by the character teki. So yeah, in Japanese, we basically take this suffix teki, add it onto a noun word, and that noun word will then change into an adjective version of itself that means, well, whatever the noun word meant, but adding like ish at the end of it. So let's actually go through a couple examples of that. First up, we'll have the noun word koka, which means effect. We want to turn that into an adjective, so all we have to do is add teki right after it, and it becomes koka teki, and this is going to then mean effective. Similarly, if we have the word geijutsu, we are going to take this word, which basically means art or fine arts, we'll add a teki after it, and then that will then become basically artistic, the adjective artistic. We'll do one more. We'll take the noun kasetsu, which means hypothesis. Add teki right after that, and then it simply becomes hypothetical. So when nouns are turned into adjectives using this process or in this manner, the resulting adjective is always going to be a na adjective, which means if we use it to modify a noun, we're going to have to use the particle na right after it. Yeah, we should know the rules of an adjective. And so basing off of that information, we can actually go even further and say that this technique is also usable to turn any noun into an adverb, because as we should know, in order to turn a na adjective into an adverb, all we have to do is add the particle ni right after it. So once we have our new word from the noun, the original noun word, we can do the same thing. We can just add the ni right after whatever noun word we chose, teki, and that adjective will then undergo another transformation and turn into an adverb, basically, that you can use to describe an action. So obviously we can do that with the examples that we just did. We'll take it a step further, and then now we'll turn them into adverbs. So our first example was koka teki. Now all we have to do is to add the particle ni, koka teki ni. That is going to change from effective to basically effectively. Geijutsu teki, artistic. Add the ni right after that, it becomes basically artistically. Kasetsu teki, add the particle ni, it becomes, it changes from hypothetical to hypothetically. And so yeah, that's pretty much how simple the conversion is. We just basically add this character, or we add the character with the particle ni. We'll go through an example sentences for these. We'll do one each, one for just the adjective form and one for the adverb form. So for our first example sentence, we'll do an adverb. We have the line, motto koritsu teki ni nihongo ga benkyou shitai desu. So this is a pretty simple line. It is going to translate to basically, I want to be more efficient in my Japanese studies, or I want to study Japanese more efficiently. Let's break down the sentence bit by bit. The first word that appears here is going to be motto, which just means basically more. It's going to be modifying the word right after it, which is going to be the word that's part of our grammar pattern here. Kōritsu teki ni. Kōritsu is the noun word that basically means efficiency. So when we turn it into an adjective by adding the teki right after it, kōritsu teki is then going to translate to basically efficient, but we aren't done there because we also add the particle ni right after it to turn into an adverb. So this will then become efficiently. So more efficiently, motto koritsu teki ni. And now proceeding with the rest of the sentence, we say what we want to do or what we do more efficiently, and that is just going to be nihongo ga benkyou shitai desu. And this is all vocabulary in this part is probably one's words that we've seen before in previous lessons because we often do talk about studying and Japanese. So nihongo means Japanese. We have the particle ga marking it as basically the direct object to the desiderative word that we use right after, which is benkyou shitai. Benkyou suru is the verbal noun that means to study, but our suru is conjugated into the desiderative tai form. So benkyou shitai means to want to study. Then we end the sentence with desu because the phrasing shitai is not exactly a verb, so it needs the desu right after it. And so all together, once again, motto koritsu teki ni nihongo ga benkyou shitai desu is going to be I want to study Japanese more efficiently. Pretty simple. Our next example sentence is actually probably even simpler because it's just using the adjective and not an adverb. So our example sentence is gutai teki na hidori wa kimatte inai. And this is going to translate to an exact date is not decided. So let's break down this example sentence bit by bit. First up is actually our grammar pattern or the focus of our sentence relative to the grammar pattern we're covering. Gutai teki ni. Gutai is a hard word to kind of define when it's in its noun form. It basically means like concreteness or like exactness. So when we turn it into an adjective, gutai teki, I actually see gutai teki, the word, more than gutai itself, I think. That'll be basically specific or exact or concrete. So that obviously now is a not adjective because we've gone through this whole process of turning it into an adjective by adding teki after it. So we need the particle na right after it and right before the noun that we're gonna use it on. So gutai teki na, then our noun is going to be hidori, which means scheduled date or picked date. It's actually a literal combination of the word hi, which means day, and tori, which means to basically take or pick. So the picked day or the specified day, basically. This is actually going to be the topic of the sentence, so we add the particle wa. Then we have the phrasing of kimatte inai. This is the te form of a verb plus the verb iru, except iru is in its negative form to mean the verb has been done, but since this is negative, it means it has not been done. And kimatte inai means basically to be decided or to not be decided since it's negative. So has not been decided is what this is saying basically. Kimatte inai means has not been decided. So the specified date or the exact date hasn't been decided yet. Gutai teki na hidori wa kimatte inai. Okay, so yeah, that's going to cover it for our example sentence in this lesson. Hopefully 2 of them was enough to get you, give you an idea of how this is working. Basically, we didn't really need to go too much into it because they just turn into adjectives, and we should have a lot of familiarity with just using adjectives in their basic function of describing things or as adverbs. So yeah, the key thing here was to know that teki added onto a noun turns into an adjective, a not adjective, and once it's a not adjective, you can apply the whatever you can apply to a regular adjective to it. So yeah. Okay, so that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you learned something and I hope you enjoyed your time doing so. If you'd like to express that, you can like the video, leave a comment below, or subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to support more of these video lessons, please do consider checking out our Patreon page. Also included on the screen right now are of course a bunch of links on where to find and follow us elsewhere online. Lastly, check out our Discord server. We've got a community of hundreds of, so if you're looking for somebody to voice chat with just to practice speaking Japanese, or if you just want to talk about anime or music or manga. And with that, see you next time.